He said he has not endorsed Kamala Harris yet because, quote, you don't hire someone unless you give them an interview, unquote. Is that all it takes? Will he endorse Harris after today?
I think that he is doing his job representing the Teamsters, which is he is making it clear that they aren't committing to a particular party just because of a party affiliation. But what he cares about is who is going to be best for workers, who's going to be best for unions. Now, the reality is that a lot of the things that he wants and that he wants for the Teamsters, such as making it easier for other workers to join a union, to join the Teamsters, those kinds of things he's more likely to get out of Vice President Harris in the same way he's been more likely to get support for unions out of President Biden. You even had, as you noted, President Trump sort of giggling with Elon Musk, which is, the way to keep workers in line is fire them if they threaten to organize or they threaten to strike. That's not going to win any favors or support from the union. So I would be surprised if we don't see a Teamsters endorsement of Kamala Harris. But I think it's also worth noting how, tough they're being about saying you don't get it for free. We're making sure that you're out there representing the interests of unionized workers.
Well, yeah, to your point, Betsy, Sean O'Brien called that economic terrorism, the ideas propagated by Donald Trump and Elon Musk in that X conversation earlier this summer. If we could just examine, though, the year we have seen, it was a Teamsters strike with UPS, an agreement that had to be made between the UAW and the automakers, now Boeing with 33,000 workers on strike. If we do see a Harris presidency, would you expect that kind of behavior, unions trying to exercise more leverage over these companies with the support of whoever's in the White House to continue?
Well, I think that's sort of a complicated question. I don't think that whether workers strike or don't strike has anything to do with who's in the White House. What I think has happened over the past year is we have seen growing support for unionized workers from the public, which has increased the bargaining power of unionized workers and unions. And I think that a lot of employers have gotten themselves caught a little bit off guard by the fact that, well, their unionized workers are going to use that increased bargaining power. And if they're not getting what they want, they're going to strike. Well, think about something like the UAW. The UAW came to the table and basically gave up everything when it looked like the auto industry might collapse. And what they saw was, real wages that had been stagnated for quite some time. And then they said, hey, you guys are doing great now. We want more. And I think that the sort of initial stingy response they got, did not match the amount of bargaining power they currently had. You're right that it's a little bit helped when you have someone in the White House that's on their side. But I think the real issue here is are we going to reach a new equilibrium where unions and firms can bargain together and reach compromises without needing to strike?
Betsy, we're short on time this evening, but just quickly in 30 seconds, what do you expect the Fed does on Wednesday, 50 or 25?
Well, I think it's a coin toss. Personally, I would do 50, but I think that there's an argument for 25. Look, the labor market's clearly cooling, but we haven't gotten quite everything they want out of inflation. So it's a balance of risks. I hope they do 50, but as I said, I think it really is a coin toss at this point.